The views or opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Westman Communications Group or its employees.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Welcome back to another episode of the KC Chronicles, episode 46.
You got it.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, the last episode was a travel episode.
That was
First
fun.
of the year.
Eternal Springs.
Although it was cold.
It was cold, it was wet, it was raining.
It would have been just exactly like Marshall's Lake if it wasn't windy.
It wasn't cold, because Marshall's Lake, it was rainy, but it was warm. So it was bearable.
I think the only reason it was super cold was the wind. Because if we didn't have that wind, I feel like it would have been more tolerable.
Well, ever since that rain spell came last week, all the temperatures kind of dropped with it. So I think that helped. Marshall's Lake, that was in August. We did that in mid-May. So. But
I would highly suggest going to Eternal Springs when it's nicer out than when we went. But it was really nice. Finally, we're out of the rain, so that's cool.
I know that almost a literal full calendar week of nothing but rain and overcast, cold, windy. It was awful. It's now stabilized. We're now back to like those early mid-20s, clear skies, and actually surprisingly, despite all the fires in Manitoba, no smog and no haziness. It's been nice, and I've been enjoying it, and it's been good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Well, I had my birthday this past weekend. About 2 days ago was my birthday, but
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kenzie. Happy birthday to you. I just wanted to get that over with.
Oh, I just remembered something. Oh, it's a separate thing for later. I just when you started doing happy birthday, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to yell at somebody for that. Anyway,
that's correct. That's cryptic. Well, actually, we did mention it. Well, we did tease it, but we did go out for your birthday last weekend. So we're taping this on Monday.
The 26th.
The 26th.
My birthday was the 24th.
On the Saturday. The previous Saturday, me and Kenzie and some friends, we went out for some drinks, and we did sing "Happy Birthday" to you in the booth.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I was holding the phone up like this.
You might have seen it. Yeah, I'll tell you the quick little story of why I need to yell at somebody.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so on my birthday, we were out for supper, me and my boyfriend, and I was like, well, if they don't sing happy birthday to me, you have to sing it to me later. And now that I'm just thinking about it, he didn't sing it to me, and so now I'm going to yell at him.
Connor, you were on the hot seat, man. You are on the hot seat.
I just, when you say happy birthday, I was like, wait, I didn't actually get sang happy birthday.
I sang it first.
I didn't get sang happy birthday to me on my actual birthday. Crazy.
But let it be known, I wished her a happy birthday on your birthday.
Yeah, so it was actually quite a fun weekend. I went up Friday to Regina, where my boyfriend is currently staying, and we went out for supper to this pizza place. Ambulance showed up. I told you about that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was not even first 4 hours of Regina, and somebody's already getting hauled away by ambulance. She was okay, but. Well,
when she texted me about it, she said an ambulance showed up. I momentarily freaked out because I'm like, what happened to you or Connor? What? Who's dying now?
No, we were okay, and then we left, and then we went to the bookstore. I convinced him to buy me a book. He told me he would never buy me a book, and then he did. So, that's what I'm reading right now. I win.
You're like a dictator, I swear.
And then we went to Urban Planet, because I love Urban Planet.
Right.
I freaking love that place. Mm-hmm. And cheap and nice. I bought 2 dresses for $20.
Nice.
Can't find that nowhere else.
Wait, sorry, 2 for 20?
2 dresses for $20.
Get out.
Normally 1 dress would be $20. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dress I wore for supper on Friday was on Saturday. That red one was from Urban Planet. Anyway.
I wish I could find any clothes for that price.
Urban Planet has men's clothes.
That's not from Walmart.
Urban Planet has men's clothes. Anyway, fast forward to Saturday. Saturday, we wake up, we go there's on campus, half a block away from where he's staying, there's a Starbucks. So we went to get Starbucks. I get my drink free because it was my birthday.
That's right.
Which was really nice. And then we got breakfast, and we sat out, and we went for a nice little walk by the water. It was actually really nice. Peaceful morning.
The only thing I've gleaned is that you've gotten a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah.
A lot of free stuff.
You get quite a bit for your birthday. Just saying. Like I got a free Sephora gift a couple weeks ago. Anyway, so then after we went for a little stroll, we went to a trampoline park.
This is a great story.
It was fun. It was a lot of kids around, but it was fun. And then right before we left, near the end of our time, I was doing a jump. I did a flip, and it was like a really bouncy trampoline, and I landed the wrong way, and I'm very light, and so I went flying off of the trampoline onto the ground in front of the employee, and the guy literally looked so scared. I think I gave the guy a heart attack. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Yeah." So keep in mind, this is all before lunch.
Yeah, lunch hasn't even started yet.
So then we leave the trampoline park and we go for lunch. And we go to Five Guys because I've never had Five Guys. It was actually really good. And we went back to his place for a bit, chilled, and then at 2:30 we went to Activate, which if you don't know, it's easier if you look it up, but it's like a big old like game
Kind
area.
of virtual.
Yeah, it's kind of like a video game, but in real life, and you do all these levels. And
Gen
stuff.
Z
Really cool.
paradise, let's call it that.
It's quite fun. If you ever are in Regina or Winnipeg, there's 2 in Winnipeg and 1 in Regina. I recommend Activate. It's worth the money. It's so fun. And then I ran into a wall there. I full force. I grabbed the ball and I was going to run around, and it was dark in there and I didn't see the wall, and I ran full force into the wall.
It's the most you thing to ever happen.
I thought I gave myself a bloody nose.
Well, yeah, if you run into a wall full force, I would expect the same.
And then there was, at Activate, there was this room of lasers, and it was like James Bond style, dodge the lasers. It was quite fun, except Connor. Sorry.
And you hit the microphone.
Connor, so it was like all at the top, and you had to go like crawl underneath. Connor's like, I'm not gonna crawl. He rolls the entire way. And I'm just laughing.
I wish we could have gotten this on camera.
I really wish I brought my phone out because my phone was in the locker, but I really wish I had my phone on me so I could video. It was the funniest thing. And then I stubbed my toe in there. I was falling apart.
Just one walking injury waiting to happen. We need to wrap you in like. I'm surprised you haven't died yet on a. Sorry. This makes a lot of sense why you always say that you're gonna die on our travel shoots, because you are a walking injury catastrophe waiting to happen. We need to like. Me and whoever's coming with us, like if it's Josh or if it's Carson, we need to wrap you in like bubble wrap and give you like a helmet, some shoulder
We need to do
pads.
the same to my mom. She's the same. We're the same person.
Yeah, we've talked about several of your mom's injuries here on this show. So, oh my goodness.
Anyway, after Activate, we go to the Victoria Square Mall because they have mini golf there, and it was actually kind of fun. It was a bit expensive, but it was fun. It was like all these landmarks around the world. It was kind of fun. It was 18 holes. I lost, but it's fine. And then we go back to this place and we get ready for supper, and we go out for supper to this place called Moxie's.
Love Moxie's.
I've never been until
They are one of my
birthday.
favorite restaurants because, well, I don't know about the ladies' washroom, but the guys' washroom, there's TVs right in front of each urinal. You can stand there and you can watch TV.
I can't.
Amazing. I have watched Blue Bomber games at those urinals.
I cannot confirm or deny if there's anything in the women's washroom because I never went to the washroom there. But they had like $5 espresso martinis.
Opportunity missed.
Yeah, apparently. They had like $5 espresso martinis, so I had an espresso martini. We got steak and fries, and my steak. I didn't get food poisoning this time.
Yeah, because last time you
I
went
had a
out
steak, I had
for
food
your
poisoning,
anniversary, you got food poisoning. That was the whole thing.
Not my finest moment, but.
No.
And then free dessert. We had a white chocolate brownie. It was delicious, and it was funny. I'm pretty sure the server like called us fat because.
Whoa, what?
So we like scarfed down this dessert pretty quick because it was delicious. The guy comes back, he's like, "Oh, I don't need to ask how that was," and I'm like, "Whoa, don't fat shame me. It's my birthday." Oh yeah,
Jesus,
and before we went out for supper, we had 7-Eleven. I just got a Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is sounding okay. So let's rewind here. So we've had Starbucks, Five Guys, Moxie's, and 7-Eleven all in the same day.
Yep.
Look, I'm not gonna say the words, but you're fat. No, I'm saying that is a lot of junk food in one day, and like
but
really fatty food.
In my defense, I don't eat like that every day.
No, you
It
don't.
was my birthday, and I treated myself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't.
Treat.
I don't typically eat like that.
No, it's your birthday. You can do whatever, of course, you like.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think it's fair to say, absolutely fair to say, you made the most of it, which is the most important part.
And the funniest thing is so when I got to Connor's place on Friday, my birthday gift was sitting on the counter. And I was like, can I open it? He's like, it's not your birthday. I was like, can I open it? And he's like, it's not your birthday. So then
It's like Christmas.
the first thing that happened when I woke up was like, can I open my present?
It's like the first thing you said.
Good morning. Didn't even say I love you. Can I open my present?
You're like 10. Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a really good weekend.
It was a good weekend, yeah. And then I came home on Sunday and I was like, hey, Mom, birthday supper. And she's like, sure. And
Just indulge more and more. Yeah.
well, no, it was a healthy-ish. It was homemade chicken noodle soup and dumplings and homemade buns. Everything was homemade and it was delicious.
All right, fair.
It was,
fair.
and I got
a lot of sodium in there, but yeah.
I got some soup sent home with me, so I'm probably gonna have soup for supper.
Okay, but I have a because sorry,
Anyway,
you did just say chicken noodle soup, but I have to ask because this was a topic of controversy in the past. Was it cauliflower cheese soup that you were sent home with?
No.
Okay.
It's chicken noodle
Good.
soup.
Good. I just had to check.
But my mom made homemade dumplings to put in them. It's so good. Like I love my the way my mom makes chicken noodle soup is like unmatched.
Unmatched.
Cannot buy that.
Unrivaled.
I actually don't like buying the canned soup because ever since I've had my parents, I'm like, this is disappointing and sad.
But yeah, and I mean, and it's reflected in the price, like.
And my dad made a homemade like buns, like dinner buns.
Oh yeah.
And they were so good, so soft, and it was just like perfect thing to dip into.
I'm just gonna have like 1 or 12.
I had two.
Times,
And a bowl of soup.
Times 10.
I'm gonna have the whole. My mom. You know Baysell. You know the big Baysell containers.
Yeah.
My mom sent me a big old Baysell container of soup home, so
Wow.
I'm gonna eat that whole thing. Right now.
So after this episode, you're gonna go home and just eat soup, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be the rest of your day.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Yeah, because I got the afternoon off, so why wouldn't you go home and eat soup? Anyway, that was my
Exactly.
birthday weekend. We got a little longer than I was planning to, but it's okay.
It was like 10 minutes of an entire weekend. What did I do last weekend?
Yeah, what'd you do over the weekend?
Nothing.
Colin,
Nothing.
do you want to hear a funny thing about my birthday?
No. Okay.
So, my sister was like, I'm going to stay up till midnight and be the first one to wish you a happy birthday. She fell asleep at some point. So she didn't, she wasn't the first one to wish me a happy birthday. But the funniest thing is I heard from both of my brothers who don't really care about me, but they do, but they don't, okay? It's a long, complicated story. So both of my brothers,
Okay.
my boyfriend's parents, my boyfriend's sister, my boyfriend's grandparents, before I heard from my sister. Like, I heard from all these people before my little sister. I was like,
where do I rank? Because I texted you like pretty early Saturday morning.
You would have been one of the first.
Boom.
But it was the funniest thing to me is just like,
yeah, I'm gonna be the first one, and is like the 12th.
She didn't wake up till like 12 o'clock that day. And I was
Wow.
like, I literally texted my mom at 11:30 and I was like, is she dead? Like, I haven't heard from her. I'm getting a little concerned. I heard from the boys before I heard from her. And my mom's like, no, I don't think she is.
I don't think she is.
So now I'm just endlessly bugging my little sister about the fact that she said she was going to be first. And then she ended up being like the 50th.
That's great.
But it's so funny.
Honestly, the only interesting thing going on in my life right now, well, the CFL is starting
Actually,
soon.
you read my mind. I was just about to say.
I'm going
Preseason
to,
first game for the Riders is on Friday.
no, the first game for the Riders was on Saturday,
Well, okay.
and they played the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at
I
IG
didn't know
Field.
they played on Saturday.
And
but I knew.
did they lose to us?
right, you told me
Still,
this.
they can't win at IG Field even if they bought one. Anyway,
But they have a preseason game on Friday.
yeah, against us.
I guess it's the first home game on Friday.
Well, right, yeah, technically speaking. Yeah, so I have a car now, which means I'm going to be going to a lot more games in the summertime. I am looking very forward to it. And
Casey Chronicles goes to a game.
I'm down. If you want to go to a game,
Heck yeah.
I'll take you to a game. It's way cheaper to go to like a Bomber game than
I have not been in the Bomber Stadium.
Well, then we're gonna go.
Okay, heck yeah. I mean, I'm gonna wear green, but
Do you want to get heckled? Just you don't even have to wear any.
okay, I'm not gonna wear any Bombers things. I'm just also not gonna.
Don't wear any Riders things
I'm
either.
just
That's a
gonna
bad
wear,
idea.
like,
if it's
normal
not
clothing.
banjoable, that's a bad idea. You're gonna get looks.
But yeah, we should just film it for fun for funsies.
Heck yeah, we'll plan after this.
Heck
Other
yeah.
thing, this is a complete other note. So it's a bit random, but if you remember from about a year ago, I was telling you that I was wanting to write a book.
Yeah.
Off the fantasy thing. So
Yeah, we haven't talked about it for a
I haven't
while,
written
but-
a book. The book is still not written.
I was waiting for you to be like, and this is the release party.
Yeah, no, this is not a release
I'll
party.
be like, when did you publish this?
Exactly. So basically, I had the idea and the
Yeah.
rough plot, but I wouldn't say I neglected it, but it kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
I got distracting, and I'm gonna tie this into our topic a little bit. But I picked it back up recently, and I kind of reworked the plot because it was gonna go in one direction, but then I kind of took some major plot points and then steering it in a whole other narrative. And I just completed a storyboard. By that I mean like bullet points of the entire plot in a pretty detailed way. I completed the whole storyboard, and I'm gonna start writing it like soon. And yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a pure passion project. It's not to be published. Like, it's one of those things where, because my mom did this a few years ago, where she wrote a book, and there are many services, but Amazon has that service where you can print out your own books. I want to do that. So not publish it, just get it printed.
Can you print me one?
Well, I was
as a
gonna
gift?
say I'm gonna print.
So I'll read it.
I was saying I'm gonna print several copies so I can have like one, and then
Gift it to people.
well, yeah, like I can like lend it to people, saying, here, read it, tell me what you think, and you're gonna be the first one to read it because I know you have like 400 billion trillion thousand books. So I
Actually,
know
400 billion trillion and what?
yeah, well, it'll be and one after my book's done. So
Well, it'll be and two
and two.
because I just got a new one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was the whole point.
You'll have two new books. Perfect. Yeah, so that's starting, and tying into today's topic, which we're a little into our time, but we're finally getting to the topic. What helped me really kind of get back on track with getting the book was I have been trying to do something recently, and that's a little thing called digital detoxing.
Sorry, it sounded like it needed a sound effect there.
Little jingle. No, it's okay. It's appreciated. So, yes, digital detoxing. That's what the topic of today is. I mean, you've seen the title if you're watching it on YouTube, which,
You chose to watch it.
because we've talked for so long, we're already so far into the episode, but why not, before we get into the topic, do you want to do a little ad break? Little plug?
Pew, pew, pew.
Do your
Anyway,
thing.
All right. Instagram and TikTok are KC_Chronicles 2024. If you follow us on Instagram, you would have seen the birthday post for me that I also posted.
Yeah. You did
I
do
just
that.
figured I should have done something.
Yep.
And if you are not watching this on YouTube and you're watching this on cable, KC Chronicles on YouTube, you can find us. Same logo as our Instagram and our YouTube. And if you or somebody you know is interested in doing a podcast yourself here in the studio with your friends, WCGTV at westmindcom.com is your contact point. But if you want to join us directly on a podcast or a travel episode, email us at kcchronicles2024@gmail.com. I think that's everything.
Boom. Covered
to
all
you.
bases.
Back to you in the studio.
Okay. So, digital detoxing.
What is it?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Kanzi. Digital detoxing is a period of time during which a person refrains from using electronic devices such as smartphones or computers, regarded as an opportunity to reduce stress or focus. To reduce stress or focus on social interaction in the physical world. That's an Oxford definition. So it
feels very fancy.
yeah.
Sorry.
So it's a fancy way of saying you shut off all your screens, all your devices, and you basically fill your time with non-technological fixes.
See, as an adult who obviously I work in media, so it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to get away.
we work in media, so it's hard to do that.
But I feel like it's extra hard personally, and not because I don't want, like, not because I'm attached to it. Like, I could turn it off, but it's the fact that if I get clients, like, it's a whole bunch of things that I can't really shut it off for because it's work. It's all work related.
For sure.
So it's not, if I wasn't working in the industry I would 100% like screens off, spend some me time. But I kind of feel like I'm in the point where I kind of have to keep it on.
Right.
Otherwise, if I get clients, I'm not going to have a job, or, like, you know what I mean? So like I'm not attached
Yeah.
to it in the sense that I'm like
Yeah,
on
it's
it all the
it's
time.
all
It's just-
about kind of finding that balance, and it's hard to have that balance when like the whole thing of a work life separation or a balance. You don't get to have that a whole lot, and
No.
plus that you throw screens into it as well because you have to be monitoring your emails, your texts, your DMs or whatever.
Well, and that's the thing as a photographer is everything's online now. Like
Everything is.
you're not gonna have somebody come up on the street and be like, "Oh, I want to book you,"
Or you're
It's-
not getting a call through a newspaper clipping.
It's all on email, Instagram. So
Yeah.
it's something that it sucks.
You're forced to.
But I'm kind of forced to keep it on.
Yeah.
And I will say I do limit my time. Like if I'm on it for personal use, it's not much a day,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more so like I keep it on all the time for work purposes. But like,
Sure.
obviously I'm a Gen Zer. I carry my phone around with me, but I'm not to the point where I'm like on it all the time. So it stops me from doing other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, see, because that's the thing. The Gen Alpha, the Gen Z, and the Millennials were the generation that really, like, as kids, screens were prevalent in our lives. Like, particularly Gen Z, because, I mean, we were both born before the iPhone came out,
Yeah.
but flip phones were already a thing. Computers were already a well-established thing, but it seems to be that as time goes on, I think most people under the age of 18, as of right now, they've known nothing but screens. And especially the younger you get, the more addictive behaviors you're seeing.
Yeah.
Sure, there's some memes and some jokes associated with it, but it is kind of freaky, like how some people, because the whole
It's
thing is
gotten really bad.
the attention spans are eroding, and the whole thing of, well, again, like we can just jump into it. So like from my perspective at work, I have to stare at a computer all day.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid and in college, I had to stare at some screens, but for the majority of my time as a kid, yes, I had my phone on me in school, but most of my day was spent in class or with my friends or playing outside during recess.
Honestly, same. That's kind of how it was.
So then when I would come home and, play video games or be on my phone,
it'd be a little bit of special time.
yeah, it would be special, but there was at least a balance because most of my day was spent not looking at screens or being outside, regardless like of the weather. But now, when I'm inside all day for eight hours looking at a computer screen, and then I go home to do the same thing that I did as a kid, that's not healthy. So that's what kind of inspired me to do it. And, steps to improve your mental health as well. Because, again, if you stare at screens constantly, because that's one thing that we will get into, it ain't great. It ain't great, Chief. So, yeah, it's... Well, why don't we talk about the history? Because there's a bit of a history, actually. So there is this website called It's Time to Log Off.
It's time to log off.
Ironic.
If you're looking for a sign, this is a sign.
Yeah. Well, ironic considering that you have to log on to get to It's Time to Log Off.
Yeah.
You have to log on to log off. So this is basically just some bits from their website. And they actually have a little criteria added here. I'll get to that. I won't jump too far ahead. So from itstimetologoff.com, with the creation of the World Wide Web in the early 1990s, researchers, primarily psychologists and anthropologists, first started to suggest that it might not be a wholly beneficial invention, with the early emphasis being on the overuse, phenomenon and internet addiction and dependency. Kimberly Young penned this novel called Caught in the Net, How to Recognize the Signs of Internet Addiction and a Winning Strategy for Recovery, and proposed one of the first sets of criteria to detect internet addiction. Any individual who fulfilled 5 of the following 8 criteria would be regarded as internet addicted. So you tell me. So if you fit 5 out of these 8, you're considered an addict. Number 1, preoccupation with the internet. So you're like on it all the time. You're always preoccupied because I'm on the internet. I'm online. I'm in front of a screen. Number 2, a need for increased time spent online to achieve the same amount of satisfaction. Number 3, repeated efforts to curtail internet use, but it doesn't work. 4, irritability, depression, or mood lability? Mood lability when internet use is limited. Number 5, staying online longer than anticipated. Number 6, putting a job or relationship in jeopardy to use the internet. Number 7, lying to others about how much time is spent online. And number 8, using the internet as a means of regulating mood.
I don't think I do any of those, to be completely honest.
I feel like a lot of us are guilty of at least one of those.
I think if I had to say I was guilty of something, what are the, like, oh, hold on, can I see?
So like preoccupation with the internet and a need for increased time spent online.
I think the only two that I really apply to are 5 and 8, you know, staying on longer than I anticipated, because sometimes I just get distracted and that just happens.
I think 5, 7, 8, and 2 apply to me, I think.
I think personally just 5 and 8 for me. I think I just like
personally, I think we're all addicted because it's become such a natural instinct. Like let's be honest, most Gen Zs, what is like the first thing to do when we are considered like bored or we're out in public and we have to wait for any small period of time? This comes out. Like it is our first natural instinct, and to me that sounds a little like addiction. But now a little small timeline here. Sorry, unless you have something to add. Okay. So in 2008, China became the first country in the world to classify internet addiction disorder as a mental illness. In 2009, when early social media platforms launched in the early 2000s, like LinkedIn, YouTube, and MySpace, concerns shifted to the impact these types of applications might be having on our brains. A group of researchers produced a paper entitled "Social Network and Addiction," indicative of the worry social media addiction was beginning to cause. And then in 2012, a study found that around 60% of Facebook users had made a conscious effort to voluntarily take a break from Facebook for a time period of several weeks or more. This early form of digital detox was referred to as the media refusal, with non-users known as social media rejectors. In 2015, a survey conducted by, I don't know how to pronounce that, Deloitte, we'll call it that. A survey conducted by Deloitte found that around 59% of smartphone users checked a social media platform in the in the 5 minutes before going to bed and within the first 30 minutes of waking up.
That checks out.
That checks out for a lot of us.
I mean, let's be real. Most people sleep with their phone on their bedside table, so like
I do.
The first instinct is probably when you wake up.
And that's one thing. And that's one thing I'm trying to do actually, because we can talk about methods afterwards. What I'm trying to do is like in the kind of 20 or so minutes that I lie awake before like actually getting up, I just don't go on my phone. I just stare at the ceiling.
Just like
I just look at like I'll just look out the window. I'll just like staring. I'll just do nothing. Like just don't artificially stimulate the brain or like try and like and not kind of get that addiction of like, okay, I want that. I want like the dopamine of going through my phone. So in 2019, research published suggested that there are developmental risks in young children that have too much access to screens too early in their life. There was also a review of research carried out okay, sorry, this is a gap in my notes. You know, I'm just gonna skip that part. So basically, yeah, it's just a lot of, you know, if you kids, like young kids being on screens too much, it can have like health problems, and concentration and time spans, those go sharply downwards. So we can kind of get the issue here, like being on your screens at a young age for a long time and just being on screens prolonged, especially when you first wake up and before you go to bed, that's bad for the circadian rhythm.
You want to know what's really ironic? We're on a screen right now.
And I'm reading from a screen. Yeah. But it's hard to because everything is
it's so digital.
I should have written everything down on a notepad. But either way,
somebody's watching this on YouTube. Someone's
someone's on their phone watching us on their phone, on their computer.
Not that you can't.
Not that you can't. It's just, it does show that everything is digital nowadays. And that's one thing I kind of want to talk about. I think well, here's the thing. How about we talk about together, like, why don't we talk about what are some things that you think digital detoxing could have a benefit from? Like, what has screens done that has prevented us from getting away from technology? Like, what does technology do? You know, like, because to me, I would think about it, kids don't play outside anymore because all the fun seems to be here. What do you think?
See, okay, what screens do for me is, I mean, like, what my phone does for me is to keep in touch with people because I'm old now and I don't see everybody all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as a kid, I didn't need that because, you know, your friends live down the street and you can just knock on the door.
Exactly.
And be like,
But
oh, let's go play outside. Let's hang out.
It seems like kids, like, but even from younger and younger ages, kids aren't doing that. Like when you were like, it seemed like maybe teenagers some time ago, like it would just be a quick phone call, like, "Hey, are you home? Okay, I'll pick
On
you
my
up.
way, or-
Yeah, I'll pick you up in like 20 minutes or
But
whatever."
it wasn't to the extent that things are now. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost like people are preferring, like, kids are preferring their screens over their friends, which is
It's
really
horrible.
sad to
Or
see.
yeah, again, play with their friends online, which it's great in long distance scenarios, but now it's replacing like.
I mean, put it this way, it was also nice during COVID.
Of course, but that was a distinct anomaly. Like that was a
Yeah.
complete anomaly from the norm.
But like in long distance situations, it makes sense. Like for example, obviously the only way I'm talking to my boyfriend right now is through my screen
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
I can't just see him all the time. But it's not like I'm like, if he was still living in Brandon, it's not like I'm choosing to talk to him on the phone rather than just go see him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But you have to kind of think about, does the environment in which we live in now, do you think that has an influence on why everyone's on their screen as well? Like, because like, think about it. Don't play outside for too long without sunscreen or else you're going to get skin cancer. Don't go out and play out in the
Lots
forest.
of fear. in
Well,
the
yeah.
world.
Yeah. Don't go out and play in the forest because, you're going to catch a tick.
Or get mauled by a bear.
A little more of an unrealistic, but yes,
Hey,
mauled by a bear
happen.
or a coyote. Kids, don't play outside without supervision. Why? Because you'll get kidnapped by a van.
I feel like there's so much fear.
There's
with
too much
everything.
fear in it. Because, I was talking about this earlier. I would argue that it was better when kids were playing outside all the time because for the reason the streets were safer. Because especially during the summertime when there was, of course, no school and there wasn't screens to keep everyone inside, kids and so many people were out all the time. So there were witnesses. There were people everywhere. So if someone was screwing around or committing something illegal, there's witnesses around every corner.
Well, and the other thing is screens don't eliminate the option of kidnapping or anything like that. It's
No, they
still
don't.
just as
It just keeps
risky.
everyone inside so you can't get nabbed.
It just still is risky with online predators. And
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of fear. It's a multifaceted thing. I don't think it's strictly just take away all the screens and then things will just magically solve themselves. It will help, but I think there will be a long period to get people integrated to it. Like I have a feeling if you were to take away everyone's, like every single person in the world under the age of 25, like there's like a TV timer, like you can only watch TV for like a certain amount of time, but then everyone's phones were taken away and they were replaced by like the most simple of simple phones where all you could do is call. That's all you could do.
I'd be fine with that.
And then video games are just all taken away as well.
Okay. You can't take away computers though, and the only reason I say that is because a lot of professions rely on computers. My profession relies on computers. So
Put the same child, but okay, keep computers, take the video games and the chat rooms off of it.
Oh, that's fine.
Take away
I don't
all that.
use video games
But
on
okay,
my
so
computer.
I say all this. If you were to do all this, I feel like there might be like, I don't know how long it would take, but there would be a long period of time where there would just be chaos everywhere. Like people are like going insane. Like people like our age, like we're like curled up in like corners, like screen, TikTok. I need Instagram.
Yeah, I feel, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd be like that because I don't care enough to like. I'm just like,
But there are a lot of people who would.
There's a lot of people who would. I agree with that. And I think that it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just insane to see like how predominant it's become.
I know.
I had a thought a while ago, and then you were talking, and I forgot it.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Well, do you want to talk about how to digitally detox?
Sure.
Okay. So there are some goals that you can take, all right? Set clear goals. Determine what you aim to achieve, be it reduced screen time, improved sleep, or enhancing your relationships. It's like, why do you want to like digitally detox? Like, it's not just a matter of turning off your screen. Like, what are you trying to get out of it?
Yeah.
Establish boundaries. Designate specific times or areas, like bedrooms, as device-free zones to encourage mindful usage. Turn off non-essential notifications. disabling unnecessary alerts can minimize distractions and help maintain focus. So the only notifications you'd get like would be through like messages. So like if your parents have to get in touch, but your Instagram, your TikTok, your Snapchat, all that off. So there's not that constant disturbance.
You know what I like about Apple phones? And I don't know if you knew you could do this, but you can set like, you know how Do Not Disturb is an option?
Yep.
On your phone, you can set different ones. So I have one for sleep, mutes all my notifications.
Right.
So you can set it to whatever you feel. You can alter, like there's nap time or there's work. You can set each different one to eliminate other notifications and only let through specific ones.
That's pretty handy.
So that is what I like about Apple phones now is you can do that.
I should be investing in that.
Well,
I should check that out.
It's fairly easy to set up. You just choose like what you want to see, what is available to come through. There's obviously like some people get driving focus, which means no notifications other than like literally nothing.
Yep.
I have Apple CarPlay with my
Right.
car, and the only thing I get through there is my messages, which is fine, or like phone calls, because that's all I'm ever going to answer if I'm driving.
No phones and driving, kids.
But that's why I like the Apple CarPlay too, because I'm
Right.
not touching my phone. I can literally use Siri the entire time if I
Right.
absolutely have to talk to anybody. Like we talked today, and I used my Siri because I'm not going to start texting and driving.
And and the Siri is not the greatest thing because the Siri made everything you say sound like a robot.
Yeah, Siri's just like, but that's why I like those focuses though that you
Right.
can do that you can set on your phone because, like I said, if I'm doing it just for work purposes or if I just want to turn it off but can't really turn it off.
I think that's actually another really underrated part of digital detox because I think, especially like texting and driving, being on your phone and driving, that is almost, I would argue, from how aggressively they're putting in laws to like further restrict it and to raise the punishment for it. I would almost argue they're treating like distracted driving as more of an offense than like drunk driving. And that's already like
Pretty
high up. I'm not
darn bad
comparing the
offense.
two. I'm just saying the punishments for it are so high. Sorry, that's my person. Whenever I see anyone on their phone, I'm like, why are you doing that? Because the punishments are so extreme. Like you're basically saying, I don't care. Like because I think that's one of the things that they treat driving like it's a right, not a privilege.
Yeah.
But that goes into a whole other conversation. But
Okay.
I think digital detox is good because less distracted driving is good. there's benefits all around. Some other ways to digitally detox. This one I didn't know. Use a grayscale mode, which basically switches your device's display to black and white, which makes it less enticing because colors attract and they're distracting to the brain. So you
That's
eliminate
interesting.
all the colors off of it. So it looks, but at the same time, I'm just like, so what is this, like the 1950s now?
I was gonna say that'd be so sad.
Billy picked up his iPhone, which has the grayscale mode because color hasn't been invented yet.
Oh my goodness.
So
Turning your TV to grayscale.
exactly. It's like, I'm going to live like it's a 1950s movie.
Oh, that'd be kind of funny, Loki, though.
Engage in offline activities.
Read a book.
Well, it's funny you say that. Pursue hobbies like reading, journaling, or outdoor activities to fill the time usually spent on devices.
Or do what I do and crochet. It's fun.
Crochet. Do what I'm doing and write a book.
Write a book, read a book.
I've been
do
reading
some
too.
crochet. Go for a walk. Spend time with your friends in person and not on your phone.
Go to the bar with your friends on their birthday.
Yeah.
Or take them to Blue Bomber games.
Go to a trampoline park.
Go to a trampoline park and face plant. That's more fun.
There's so much to do. And you
There
don't
is
need
so
a
much to
screen.
do. Like there is, yeah. Exactly.
If you like golf, there's a driving range. You can go
oh,
golfing.
see, no, that's another thing, because when you think about it, yes, like there are arguments that you can make of, well, today's, whether you want to blame it on people being overprotective or too much fear about, like the like the skin cancer, the ticks, the being abducted, why kids don't go outside, or that everywhere you have to go out in person, it costs money, all this. Now, I would encourage this. I wouldn't even say like this has to be limited to just kids. Anyone who wants to go outside, and this is the thing that I was that made me enjoy spending time outside, was using your imagination. Some of the most fun I've ever had in my life was when I would use my imagination outside, like whether I was playing on my own or playing with friends. Like whether that's you play pretend, you take sticks that look like guns and you pretend to play war or whatever. Like whatever that might be. Or you have like I used
Do you
to
still do that as an adult?
I haven't
Are
done
you
that.
like going
I
up to people on the street with a stick in your
haven't done that in a lot. No.
So when you guys in Brandon hear the story of the crazy man who walked around with a stick pretending it was a gun, it was Cullen. Just saying.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
No, but fair point. Like when I was young, my Legos, you would create a fantasy world. You would create some sort of narrative, right? That type of imagination, that is a time burner like no other. And you have fun doing it because it keeps your brain engaged. It's creative. Your brain, as adults, I think our brains go so stale and mushy because, well, one, we're not learning things actively every single day. So the brain's not stimulated into learning. But another thing is we're not allowed to kind of be free and use our imagination a lot because we just kind of solely dedicate our lives to either staring at screens, which erodes your time span, your concentration, your creativity, but also it just makes your mind go stale. So I think going outside and just using
you turn into a vegetable.
Kind of, yeah. Like, well, yeah. Yeah. Well, that saying can get misconstrued, but yeah, like your brain feels like a vegetable because it's not doing anything of note. But see, like again, just using your imagination. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with a couple of adult friends going out and just playing tag. Seriously.
No, I
like seriously,
agree.
like I think like using your imagination. Now I get not everyone has a big imagination, but and maybe I'm sounding preachy because I have a very vivid, active, wild imagination. So playing pretend and kind of drifting into your own kind of fantasy world through like play or whatever, it's easy for me.
You know what I did in high school?
What'd you do?
That would kind of be fun. Man Tracker. It's
That-
like a big citywide game of hide and seek.
Well, for you guys, like, like
town-wide.
living in small towns, yeah. But Man Tracker was some of the most fun games. For anyone who isn't aware, it's basically tag, but once you're tagged, you become it. So it's basically a giant process of elimination. And playing it in elementary was lots of fun because we had a ginormous schoolyard.
It's also giant hide and seek. Like it's like,
yeah.
Like we used to play it town-wide, so like you could hide anywhere in town.
See, and that, like things like that is so much fun. Like even as an adult, I would have the time of my life.
Actually,
playing
when
that.
I was in high school, I was part of youth group at my local church, and that was some of the most fun I've ever had. It was
Totally.
screen-free, but yeah, I mean, keep in mind, youth groups can get preachy, and you do have to do the actual Jesus part, but
I would expect so.
but when you actually get to do like the fun parts, it's all screen-free. Like I barely had
Exactly.
my phone on me, but we've done like capture the flag. We
Totally.
went out and just like we went out to a corn maze one day.
Did you say that you got lost one time, or was that a
Oh,
summer
that was
camp?
at Bible camp.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about that on an earlier episode.
But it's an example of having fun using your imagination. When I was in high school, I think my grade 11 year, we went to a corn maze for youth group one night, pitch black, with the little kids too. And me and my friend thought it was a fun idea because we heard there was some kids in the next row, but we were like on the other side of the wall,
no.
and we thought it would be fun to scare the kids. So my friend does just the most spot-on Dora impression you will ever hear, and literally goes, "Hola!" So it does. And just like screams it to these kids, and they're like screaming, and it was fun. We had fun scaring children. It was awesome. Just saying.
Now, see, yeah.
Scare your local children.
But see, I think it's the whole thing of, because that's another thing, that digital detox, I think it should be very necessary. When you spend time inside and you're constantly glued to screens, it's not good for your mental health, and you're not getting outside and connecting, and you don't get vitamin D. Like, you might as well just put warning, caution signs all over that, because that's bad. And when you're chronically inside, it's just not good. It's not good. So we've talked about all that. So now let's actually talk about like what are like benefits from digital detoxing, because we talked about some of it, but why don't we kind of explicitly get into it? So taking a break from social media, whether it's for a few days or an extended period of time, can have immediate positive effects on your mental health. By stepping away from the constant barrage of notifications, you can reduce stress and anxiety and allowing your brain to rest and reset. Here are some specific ways a social media detox can benefit mental health. We just said it. Reduced stress and anxiety. Constant checking of social media can feel like a never-ending task. By setting boundaries or temporarily removing yourself from those platforms, you free up mental space and reduce your stress. Improved self-esteem. Without the constant comparisons to others, a social media break can help you refocus on your own life and accomplishments, improving your self-esteem and a sense of contentment. Which, that's a big one.
Yeah.
A big one. More meaningful connections. Taking a break from online interactions allows you to foster deeper face-to-face relationships. This shift can lead to more meaningful conversations and emotional connections, improving your overall sense of well-being. And another big one, better focus and productivity. Reducing social media usage allows you to focus on the present moment, whether it's at work, doing during personal hobbies, or while spending time with loved ones. Without the distractions of online notifications, many people find their productivity and focus significantly improve. So this is some stuff that maybe you might already be aware of, but it's noteworthy to say. And I think, honestly, one of the biggest ways I think digital detoxing should be at like friend gatherings, like especially like people like around our age. Like I will say, I'm not calling anybody else specifically, but when we were at your birthday, like there would be times where like if someone had to like, or like if a couple people all got up at once to go to the bathroom, usually all the remaining people would just be like this, and there's no talking happening. You know, things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went to the bathroom, but I didn't.
Yeah, because that's what happened. Some of us stayed behind on our phones.
No, but when we were all there, at least we were all present, chatting and talking, and
for sure.
I looked at my phone a few times because my mom texted me and like whatever.
Yeah,
But,
like quick little checks here and there are fine, but
I wasn't sitting there doom scrolling on my phone at my own birthday.
She actually was.
I was not,
and she was actually insulting me the entire time too.
Well, that's true. No, but we had fun, and everybody kind of just like unplugged a little bit,
and I think we have better memory of it as well, because you know, like when you I feel like your memory improves a lot more, because when you build these meaningful connections and you have these fun times away from screens, your brain remembers it more, because it's actually something that's stimulating in a fun way that your brain actually kind of holds onto. Like you can't think of all the last times that you all the times that you spend scrolling on TikTok. Like your brain can't remember any of that. Like if they didn't have the opportunity to save a video and to show it to people later, you wouldn't remember half of the stuff that you save and watch, because you don't remember any of it, because it's just mindless brain activity. Going out with friends is the exact opposite of it. Like there are so many moments from our hangout a few Saturdays ago that half of them I can't say on camera, but they were funny.
Yeah, even just like last night, I was at my family's house and we were all present and playing cards and like, chatting, and it was kind of nice.
Yeah. So actually, I'll kind of get back to what I was gonna say, like a while back in the episode. So what I've been doing with digital detox, and what I've been trying to do. Now, again, it's not perfect, because I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and
of course, not perfect. Sorry.
No, I know.
I'm just bugging.
No. Nobody is perfect. So no, that is true. On the weekends, I try and digitally detox. So, you know, weekends are the time to relax and decompress, but I feel like it does get a little wasted when it's spent on screens. Even if you're doing nothing, which can be good for some people's brains. Doing nothing away from screens, I find, is more. It's better for the brain. It's kind of hard to like describe unless you experience it. But that's something like one thing I did yesterday, for example, when I was kind of writing down and jotting down notes for my book. I did it outside, baked in the sun because it was hot. but no, like I spent like.
Sorry. I just thought that was funny.
No, I spent probably about maybe like 2-3 hours outside. Half of it which was in the shade because the sun was too hot. But I spent it all that outside while I was like jotting down notes and just chilling. Like I did have my phone and my iPad to like put down some notes or like change the song or change the podcast. I was gonna say,
a lot of time if I'm not like on it, but I'm listening to something.
Yeah, and that's I think is a little different.
I think it's a little different because you're not staring at it. You're actually just listening to something.
If the vast majority of the time is not looking at a screen, it's usually pretty okay.
Yeah, like if I'm reading, I'll pop my headphones in so it just fills the noise. But
yeah.
I was gonna say, I remembered my point from earlier. My point was why people are like so on their phones, and I think that it could be an escape from reality, because look at how America's doing right now. And I'm not trying to get political or anything. I'm just trying to say, like, if it's escapism from reality. It's escapism from what's going on around the world, and I don't blame a lot of people, especially in America, for doing that right now, because it's just.
It's true, But that's where I would counter with saying that's where the using your imagination comes in. And I say that because like when you use your imagination, especially if you retreat into a fantasy world, like whether again it's through play or playing like Man Tracker, you like 9 times out of 10 you forget everything else because all you're thinking about is the game and having fun with your friends.
That's true.
I think that type of imagination and like just playing. I think adults should just play more. Like just play tag with your friends. Like, go play hide and seek more. Like play board games. Like play. Just play more. It's fun for the brain, because almost everyone in the world that had friends, like
that had friends.
Well, because I guess some
Implies
people don't.
that people didn't have friends.
Well, some people don't, I guess, but not calling anyone out. But some people don't. But if you played outside with friends, a lot of those childhood memories that you cherish was when you were outside, you were playing. Yes, you were a kid, and you had no responsibilities, but I think some of that as well, like you were having fun because you were playing and using your imagination and just using your brain in fun, creative ways. And that you were completely detached from the outside world because, yes, you were a kid, but you were preoccupying yourself with something creative for the mind.
Yeah.
And technology does not recreate that in the same way. It can have a similar effect in some cases, but video games or social media, it's not the same. It is just not the same. So I think adults, go outside more. If you have like a group of 5 friends, say, hey guys, Man Tracker at the park at 8 o'clock, be there. I don't know. Or go to Bomber games.
Or go for a walk.
Or just go for a walk. Leave the phone at home.
There's some really nice walking trails at the Discovery Center here.
Yeah,
Brandon.
I bike there all the time.
I went walking last summer with my boyfriend, so yeah, we like to. I mean, we go on hikes all the time. And yes, okay, you can argue that we have screens, but in reality, we have cameras. But we're actually present when we hike together.
Yeah, like that's why I honestly say, like, leave the phones behind. Like if you're going hiking on your own in a remote location, bring your phone with you in case something bad
have somebody
happens.
have your location, but like don't.
The riverbank I think is a good example because it's it's not a big area. You're very close to civilization.
Yeah.
That's one of those times where leave your phone in the car. Just lock it away and just don't even bring it with. Like just be fully present in the here and the now. That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good way to end it, I think.
I think so.
Thank you for joining us.
I need to breathe a little bit. I was like getting like all.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the KC Chronicles. We really enjoyed having you, and we can't wait to do more travel episodes.
They should be coming up again. Unfortunately, just this whole month of May has been so busy here at the office and with
and
your
to be
practicum.
completely honest, June we're gonna try our best.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of grads that I'm doing for practicum, and I have my own graduation. Watch it on WCGTV.
That's true. We will be.
It'll be on TV. Yep. You'll see. They'll call my name, and you'll be like, "Oh, I know her." So yeah, watch my graduation on TV.
I would hope so.
WCGTV,
I'll be there.
June 11th, or not June 11th, June 13th.
We joked about this, but I I remember making some joke that you'll be doing a graduation and I'll be up in the rafters at the Keystone Center doing a podcast on my own. Like I'll be like doing like
Give
a
me
live
a microphone.
Well, yeah, like I'll give you like a little just like
the DJI mics.
Yeah, just something like very secretive, and then like and we have like some sort of earbud where we can talk. I'm like, okay, Kenzie, so you're about to head into the graduation line. How's that going? Good. Okay, good. Okay, cool. And then I'll just be like recording up from like the rafters, like, okay, guys, there she is, and she's graduating. Woo.
It would be like the
unrealistic, but it would be funny if that was a thing.
But yeah, so if you are interested in watching my graduation, tune in on June 13th. It's in the morning, so.
I can't recall my graduation wasn't that early in June. I swear mine was later.
June 13th, and it's at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, mine was first thing in the morning as well. No, I
have to be there at like 7 a.m. and I'm like.
Okay, we weren't there at 7 a.m. I was there at maybe like 8.
I know that they want us there early, so.
Oh yeah.
But me and another one of my coworkers are graduating at the same time.
That's great.
Mr. J is graduating.
Yep.
So if you're interested, tune in June 13th.
I feel old.
Or in the morning.
I feel like I'm watching the next generation graduate because I did this whole exact thing now 2 years ago. I feel old, like an old soul.
You are old. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for tuning in.
2 years older than you. Yeah, you're old.
Thank you for tuning in to KC Chronicles. If you haven't already and you're wanting to watch something that's educational, you can watch the rest of our episodes on YouTube.
But please get more sunlight. Watch KC Chronicles outside.
Listen to KC Chronicles outside. You don't necessarily have to watch.
Don't even watch us. We're not even worth watching.
Just
I
listen.
have a face for radio.
If you need If you need just like some background noise, put on one of our episodes because I'm sure
sit
we'll make
outside.
you laugh. And
Go-
just sit outside. Go tan.
Go put us on the speaker and
Get a tan.
garden.
Get a tan.
But don't plant cauliflower.
Plant cauliflower.
No, don't.
And then bring it to the office as a gift for Colin.
No.
No. Anyway, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, your week, whatever you're having. We hope you guys will join us next time. But until then, this is a goodbye from Kenzie and Cullen.